Here's an EVO 8 turbo that I upgraded to a map EF2.5. The EF2.5 and the EF3 have the same compressor wheel, which is a 55.5 by 76 millimeter billet compressor wheel. The turbine wheel used in the EF2.5 is a TD06 SL2 11 blade, which is 54 millimeter by 61 millimeter. The difference in the EF3 is that the EF3 has a TD06H turbine, which is 58.8 by 67.2 millimeters. This is a great alternative if you're thinking of putting an EVO 9 turbo on your car. You could upgrade your EVO 8 turbo. So the EVO 8 turbo, the limiting factor with it is that the turbine housing is only machinable to the TD06 SL2 turbine wheel, which can support probably at the most 500 horsepower. Now, if you want to go to a TD06H turbine in the future, you may as well just grab you an EVO 9 turbo, because the turbine housing is machinable to the TD06H turbine, but the EVO 8 turbine housing is not. The main difference with the EVO 8 and the EVO 9 turbos is that the turbine housing for one, and then the second is the bearing housing and compressor housing are a little bit larger on the EVO 9 turbo. So if you try and upgrade the EVO 8 turbo to a larger compressor wheel like a 25G, it's not going to work. We've already dealt with that a couple years ago. What happens is that it has too much back pressure and it just causes the shafts to break. We had people using that turbo on E85 and they had a lot of problems with that. So we dealt away with that build and only do the 25G with the EVO 9 compressor housing. The compressor wheel we use in this is a replica of the map EF3 or EF2.5. The main difference is the shafts between those turbos. The FP Red, in comparison, the FP Red compressor wheel is 55 millimeter by 75, and then the turbine wheel for the FP Red is a TD06H turbine, which is the 58.8 by 67.2 millimeter turbine. The FP Green has a TD06 SL2 in some versions, but however, it's changed a couple times for the EVO 9 with the FP Green. So you could have a different turbine shaft. They revised it in the later years to a version that looks like the TD06H, but is a little bit smaller. When we go with the TD06H turbine, we usually go with the 9 blade and the EVO 9 turbos. So in the FP Red and the FP Green turbos, the ones that we've seen, they use a 11 blade, which I don't prefer those just because they're much heavier. That's all for this video. If you have any more questions, you can post them below. Keep in mind that if you're looking for a rebuild kit for your EVO 8 or EVO 9 turbo, we do have those available for sale, so I'll link to those below this in the description box.